Hey guys, this is Diana Ballard, and welcome to the Mom Training Podcast, where we discuss the skills and strategies to create possibilities in motherhood and make it more fun, efficient, organized, and peaceful. You can find more information or connect with me online at dianaballard.com or at Diana Ballard Live on social media. I want you to say to yourself, I am an overcomer. Today we're going to reflect on our life and talk about the importance of celebrating our victories and what we've overcome, no matter how small or big they may be. Let's start by just looking back a year from now. What were we doing? What were we feeling, struggling with, and where are we now? Now you may think, girl, I can't even remember last week, let alone last month, but let's give it a try to think. Where was I a year ago and what was I doing? The reason why we're talking about this today is because May 1st of last year was the first episode of the Mom Training Podcast. I've really been reflecting on the last year and thinking about all that's happened since then. The struggles I've faced, the victories I've had, what I've overcome, and how different I am today. And I'll tell you, you guys, I sit here recording this podcast, so full of joy that I literally was consistent for a whole year of a podcast every week. That's a ton of work. And I did it with all the struggles and my kids, being pregnant and sick. I did it. I did it. And it's things like this that we need to celebrate for ourselves. I accomplished this goal, or I did this thing, or I paid off this amount of debt. These are the type of things that a year from now we can look back and be like, okay, I made it through that time. I still rose above my challenges. So I'm sure we can look back at the last year of our life and see challenges we struggled with and felt like they were maybe never going to end. But yet we find ourselves right now not dealing with those issues. We've been through them. We've gotten through them. Or maybe we're still dealing with some of the hardships. But what have we overcome this last year? So for me, it was things like a back injury with a 6-month recovery where I couldn't do things around my house, lift my kids, had high levels of pain, slept horrible because of that, morning sickness through my second trimester that drained me, and a handful of other hard situations that I'm now on the other side of. But the cool part is that even during those challenges, I overcame fears, doubts, comfort zones, excuses, created things I never had, was consistent with the podcast, and so much more. I look back and I'm amazed by what I overcame and accomplished, even when times were hard. And I think sometimes we don't realize how capable we really are, or how much we really can do, unless we look back at the past and be like, dang, wow, I held my family together during that time, or I'm in one piece still after that. It's amazing. And do we have times where we don't know if we're going to make it through? Yeah, but somehow we do. And we should be proud of that and celebrate the successes along with the failures or struggles, because they teach us and make us into better people year after year. So despite some of the struggles we may have faced, where do we stand now? What have we gained? As we step back and reflect on the season of life that we just have gone through, we might see our strength, our courage, and how that trial could be seen as a blessing. For some of us, we might not feel that we've progressed as much as we'd like to over the last year of time. But what I want you to focus on today is what we have overcome, what we have accomplished, who we have become through the hardship and the trials. I want us to sit, think, and celebrate for a minute. And think to yourself, I am an overcomer. I stand here today a little taller, a little stronger, a little wiser. I stand here with my dignity in hand as a warrior that's overcome battles and lived to tell about it. I stand here as a mom who's tried her best and isn't giving up yet. I stand here in my power as a woman with great influence in my family. I stand here celebrating myself and who I am. And this gratitude and appreciation I have for myself didn't come cheap. I earned this with each battle I overcame. So let's go back even farther. What have we overcome in the last 5 years, 10, 15, 20 years? I don't care how old we were that many years ago. Some of us could have just been kids, but we were overcomers then just as we are now. We can look at each experience and can see things we've learned and how we've become better. I guarantee that we've become better women and moms over time, or have been prepared to take on the role of motherhood through our different trials and life lessons. Each moment has been for purpose to bring us to this moment right now. We've learned to adjust to ongoing changes, how to be resilient, and keep living life as best as we know how. In a lot of our struggles, we might have had to be the strong one, even when it was hard for us, staying to fight in the final round, keeping our family afloat, and in some cases, working hard to keep everyone together and taken care of while the world seems to crumble around us. There are so many struggles that we face in life, each one being slightly different than anyone else who has been through the same type of thing, and yet we make it through, and yet we stand here on the other side. We are the overcomers, the fighters, the victorious ones, because here we stand. We're still here trying our best and doing what we can. So if you're going through a hard time, I plead with you to continue holding on. As a mom, it may be really challenging to take care of our own needs as well as others, when the pain and the hardship may be heavy and tiresome. But you are needed, Mama. You may feel wounded, defeated, and alone in this moment, or have before. But think of all the other moments that you've made it through. All the other times relief and freedom came. It too will come again as we keep taking things one day at a time and working towards solutions, or in just waiting out that hard time. Relief will come. And we're never going to be perfect. We're never going to get everything exactly in line. But it is our constant efforts, our diligence of stepping up again for the 100th time, that is going to help us to get where we want to be and become who we want to be for ourselves and for our family. And it's important for us to realize that we are overcomers, warriors, and fighters for what we want. For in realizing our strength and ability, we can be a stronger influence and mother in our family. I believe in you, mamas, and we can do this. We are overcomers, strong, mighty, and powerful. We are the hope for the next generation and the future. Let's keep one foot in front of the other and remember how important we are to this world and most importantly to our family. I love you guys. Share this episode with another overcomer. And if you wouldn't mind taking the time for the celebration for this year mark for the podcast, if you could please share this online on social media or share with a couple of friends today, that would be such a blessing as we're trying to reach more moms and more families and influence on a greater scale. Thank you to everyone who shows up here every week and has helped it grow, and for the emails, tell me about what you've learned and what you like and things. Thank you guys so much. You guys are awesome. So I hope you have a great day, and we'll see you next week on the Mom Training Podcast. Thank you so much for tuning into the Mom Training Podcast. If you liked what you heard, I would so appreciate a rating and review from you on any platform you listen to this on. If you have any questions or podcast ideas, you can message me on my social media at Diana Ballard Live or shoot me an email on my website. See you next week.